All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a pretty incredible invisible power, the literal lifeline that keeps us from being totally swept away by everyday temptations. Based on the powerful text, Divine Grace, Our Greatest Need, we're going to explore exactly what it takes to stay spiritually grounded when the world is constantly trying to pull us in a million different directions. So if you've ever felt just completely overwhelmed by that daily struggle to do the right thing, well, you're in the exact right place. Let's get to it. Okay, picture this. Have you ever been swimming in the ocean, just minding your own business, having a great time, and then suddenly you look up and realize you've drifted way, way down the beach? Or even scarier, have you actually felt the terrifying pull of a rip current dragging you away from the shore? That physical, panicky sensation is the absolute perfect metaphor for what the author calls a strong undercurrent in our spiritual lives. This undercurrent is basically our everyday temptations and our tendency to just kind of forget about God. It's constantly, quietly pulling us back toward a state of total indifference. The crazy thing is, you don't even have to actively swim away to get lost. You just have to stop swimming.
So let's look at part one, the pull of temptation, and surviving that strong undercurrent. Here's the absolute crucial point we need to get. Literally, no human heart can remain strong against this undercurrent without divine grace. A lot of times we think genuine conversion is this one and done event, right? But it actually brings us into daily communion with God simply because the temptations, they never actually stop. So what is divine grace? It's that free power, that totally unearned help from God. It's our absolute lifeline. The source material is crystal clear on this. No human heart can remain strong without divine grace.
Bottom line, you just cannot survive on your own. The text tells us that no person can remain converted unless two things happen at the exact same time. First, we've got to take care of ourselves by holding fast to God. And second, the Master must have a care for us. He has to hold fast to us. It's this beautiful mutual grip. If you try to let go of his hand and just swim against that brutal undercurrent using your own strength, you're going to get swept away, for sure.
Which brings us to part two, Paul's secret to winning, because hey, even heroes need help.
You know, we so often think of biblical figures, especially the Apostle Paul, as these untouched superheroes who literally never struggled with anything. But honestly, that couldn't be further from the truth. Just look at this quote from Galatians 2:20. I live, yet not I, but Christ liveth in me. Paul's utter dependence was completely on the power of God through faith. In his profound humility, he recognized that his own human strength was basically zero. Any victory he ever had, it wasn't his own doing. It was entirely Christ working within him.
And this gives us a huge reality check. Paul was actively battling unruly passions every single day. The text actually says he lived in constant dread that his evil propensities would get the better of him. He wasn't coasting. He was fighting with fierce, firm resistance. He wrote that he kept his body under subjection so that after preaching to everyone else, he wouldn't somehow become a castaway himself. And for anyone, but especially for young people today, navigating a world completely full of intense distractions and temptations, this is massive. It means the struggle is totally normal. The greatest heroes fought it every single day.
Moving right on along to part three, the danger of overconfidence. Why you shouldn't trust your own strength. So just ask yourself this. If the great Apostle Paul felt like literally trembling in view of his own weakness, who has a right to feel self-confident and boastful? Absolutely no one. I really want you to take this away with you today. If a spiritual giant like Paul trembled at the mere thought of facing temptation all by himself, it is perfectly 100% okay that you find it hard too. The danger isn't in feeling weak. Actually, the danger is in pretending that you're strong enough to handle it on your own. There's just this stark, massive contrast between self-confidence and God-confidence. On one hand, the source explicitly warrants that the exact second we start to feel self-sufficient, we become exalted, and boom, we are in immediate danger of a disgraceful stumble and fall. But on the other hand, we have God-confidence. When we rely entirely on Him, we receive what the text beautifully describes as refreshing showers of divine grace. The choice is pretty clear, right? Trust yourself and fall, or trust God and be completely refreshed. Let's look at how we do that in part 4, prayer, the vital channel, and your direct connection to heaven. Here it is, our ultimate solution and our only sure defense against these besetting sins, daily and hourly prayer. I like to think of prayer like a powerful, high-speed Wi-Fi signal directed straight up to an open heaven. Prayer is the vital channel that conducts our gratitude and all the deepest yearnings of our soul directly to the throne of God. And the best part? It's a two-way street. We send up our needs, and through that very same open channel, God sends back those refreshing showers of divine grace we just talked about. But I do need to issue a pretty serious warning here. right from the source material. For very many people, this channel is allowed to freeze up. Just imagine ice slowly, silently forming over a pipe until absolutely nothing can get through. When we stop praying, when we get busy or distracted, that vital channel literally freezes, and our connection with heaven is completely interrupted. And remember what happens when we lose our grip on God? Yep, that strong ocean undercurrent sweeps us away instantly. We just cannot afford to let this channel freeze.
Which brings us to part 5, keeping the channel open and how to fight back daily. Okay, so here is your practical 3-step blueprint for keeping that vital channel warm, active, and fully connected. Step 1, pray daily and hourly. Make it a continuous, ongoing conversation. Step 2, pray earnestly whether you feel like it or not. Honestly, this one is so important. Do not wait for some magical spiritual feeling to hit you before you reach out to God. I mean, you don't wait until you feel like breathing to take a breath, right? You just do it to survive. Prayer is exactly the same. And step 3, spend more time on your knees. Physical posture can have a really profound impact on our mental humility and focus. Alongside those steps, we also have to adopt the right daily attitude. We need real watchfulness and earnestness. We can't be super zealous on a Monday and then just totally careless by Wednesday. We need constant intercourse or communication with God. And notice these last 2 points on the screen. Less planning for ourselves and less thinking we can do great things alone. When we spend more time on our knees, we naturally stop trying to architect our own grand, self-sufficient plans. Instead, we become vitalized by true communion with our Creator. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I'm going to leave you with this final vital question. Will you leave your channel frozen, or will you open it today to receive God's divine grace? That undercurrent of temptation we talked about, it's real and it is incredibly strong. But heaven is wide open to your prayers right now. Please don't wait until you feel strong enough, because as we've learned today, you aren't. Get on your knees, open that channel, and let the refreshing showers of divine grace pour in. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I really challenge you to start that vital conversation right now.